Welcome to Central News on TV Central. Motor neuron disease is when nerve cells or neurons controlling the muscles that enable people to move, speak, breathe and swallow undergo degeneration and die. This Sunday, some Tauranga locals have organised a walk to defeat motor neuron disease. Lynn, what are you doing for the awareness walk?
We're going to walk from Memorial Park to the Strand and back. And we hope to have the Dalek there on a lovely fine day. He's been to Armageddon and is very popular, so hopefully he will collect a lot of money for us.
So Graham, what is motor neuron disease?
Motor neuron disease is a condition whereby messages which come from the brain or the spinal column no longer get to the muscles in the body or the vocal cords. And when these messages degenerate or don't get through, there's muscle wastage and lack of ability to speak or to swallow.
How does it affect someone's everyday life?
Generally, when people are diagnosed, they either have a foot drop or impaired ability to speak or swallow. Generally, over a period of time, these debilitating issues increase. They either end up in a wheelchair, unable to swallow, and the progress of the disease is between 2 and 4 years. It is a terminal situation, and some people are known to live longer, but generally it's a terminal situation of between 2 to 4 years.
And is there any treatment?
There's no treatment at the moment, nothing that will alleviate the condition or prolong life. So the world's situation at this point in time, yes, there's no cure whatsoever.
Now this is the first time that you guys are having this awareness walk in the Bay. What made you want to do this?
Well, we've been wanting to raise money and we've usually sat outside supermarkets, but this way we are actually putting it out there more and people will be aware if we're walking as a group. And also it is money funding because people have got to register and pay to come in, which is great. I mean, they can walk anyway, that's fine. Yeah, mainly for the awareness out there.
Well, thank you very much to the both of you, and now we're going to meet with one of the founders of MND Bay of Plenty. Janet, why did you decide to start this not-for-profit group?
When Jeff was diagnosed, we researched and tried to find some help, to sort of try to reach out and see how we were going to manage this, and there was nothing, so we advertised on the radio and got a few people together, and then after Jeff died, I was in a position I had time to put into doing all the legwork of setting up a group.
Paula, what are you hoping will come from this awareness walk?
More awareness from the public. I think when someone's diagnosed, a lot of people don't know what motor neuron disease is. So awareness and to raise funds so that we can help support our field worker who's out helping people with the disease at the moment.
Now Janet, you lost your husband 15 years ago. Can you tell us about that experience?
Well, it was shocking, of course. It blindsides you. It's something that you never expect, and we just had a baby, so he was only 5 weeks old. So the implications sort of come flooding in, and you wonder how you're going to get through it, but you do. Lots of people get through lots of things.
And Paula, you lost your husband just over a year ago. Tell us about that experience.
I'd also lost a workmate to motor neuron disease, and our treasurer, it was her sister, so my husband and I had seen what had happened to her, so the minute he had his diagnosis he knew what was happening. And it was just awful, the worst thing you want to hear really. It's not, you can't fight it, there's no cure, so you know you're going to die, and it's just the most dreadful thing ever for anyone who's involved.
And what was everyday life like?
Everyday life was pretty hectic with someone learning to walk. Our son was still only little, and Jeff was unlearning to walk and talk, so there was only about, I think, a couple of weeks when they could actually walk at the same time. Looking after somebody else's needs and your own is a lot of work, 24/7. You really need a genie in the cupboard that you can just, pull out when you need her and put away again.
And tell us about the book that he wrote.
He wanted to be a journalist. I think he wanted to be a sports journalist, and it was something he never pursued. So he decided he was going to write a book about MND with his big toe in the end, and that's what he did. He achieved, one of his goals before he died.
And what was everyday life for you and your husband?
Changed a lot. I had to learn how to change our diet so that he could eat while he was still able to eat soft foods, and then eventually when he couldn't eat, it was very difficult when you needed to eat. Did you eat in front of him or did you eat in secret? Had to learn how to administer medications and deal with all of the equipment coming and going. Your house turns into a bit of a hospital room because you need all this equipment to be able to look after them. It was difficult for our daughter, who was only 9 at the time, seeing her dad go through that. He was a big, burly, strong, fishing, golfing man, and all of a sudden he's turned into, an old skeletal man who could no longer eat and then at the end couldn't breathe for himself.
To register for this event, visit walk2d, that's the letter D, feet.wordpress.com. And they are meeting at Memorial Park in Tauranga on Sunday at 11 a.m. Just ahead, the National Council of Women.